All right. So thanks for joining me today for this SRI Power Up. And today, move the screen a little bit. Today we're going to do stages 1, 2, and 10 together. So in stage 1, we're feeling disconnected, so we'll create some connection there. Stage 2, polarities and rhythms, so still potentially feeling some disconnection within our body and within ourselves. And then stage 10 is all about kind of merging with the illusion that we are disconnected from ourselves or from each other or from a higher power. And so we're going to work towards that feeling of ascent. And I just wanted to read just a little bit about stage 10 because that's where what we're working towards. And this was written by someone who was experiencing stage 10. So this was a practice member in an office, and they're describing their experience. What else is there except to accept but the flow of life? All times it's hard to see that it's just a wave, but when you're experiencing, that's all it is. You get caught up in the wave, and you don't know which way is up or which way is down, but you don't care. Sometimes you ride on top of the wave and you feel that somehow there is a way that everything can get worked out, even though you don't know what needs to be worked out. Sometimes you become part of that wave. It stares you right in the eyes, and you know at that precise moment that you are free. You are safe and you are joyful. There is no fear, no regret, no doubt or unfulfilled expectations. There's no judgment or feeling that I've got to do something. All is light, all is perfect. The now moment is a sublime place where one can seek the presence of the higher powers caressing one's heart as one's heart is connected to the higher power. It's an experience of security and comfort and release. And so we thought stage 10 would be appropriate for a number of reasons. One is that, currently we're on this wave, riding this wave, and we don't necessarily know when that wave is going to end, but even within that wave and within the storm of present day life, we can experience some calm, and we can experience the presence of a higher power around us and surrounding us and protecting us as well. And we can find that within ourselves as well. So I'm going to start. We're going to go into 1, then 2, and then 10. And you can follow along just by listening. I'll try to describe what we're doing as we do it. For the first 2 stages, we're going to be breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then after that, for stage 10, we're going to be breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth. Okay? So I'm going to get into a laying down position and just make yourself comfortable. So for stage 1 and 2, we're going to be using positions 1, 2, and 3. So positions 1, 2, and 3, 1 is here, right at the top of the chest. 2 is right where the rib cage comes together, and then 3 right over the belly button. And just really trying to keep the hands right on top of each other and the elbows active. If you need to let your elbows relax as we're doing this, you can do that for a second and then resume right with the breathing. So we'll start with just a scan for position 1, 2, and 3. And to start with that scan, we're just going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just a few breaths in each position. And now to position 2. And now to position 3. And we're going to come back to position 1. And this time we're going to go through again just 2 or 3 breaths in each position. And I want you to think about breath, energy, and movement. So the breath might be just feeling and seeing and kind of visualizing the breath going into that area. Energy, you might experience like warmth or light or a vibration or a hum, buzzing. And movement, you might feel the actual expansion underneath your hands. So I want you to just pay attention in each one of those positions, 1, 2, and 3, the breath, the energy, and movement. And just try to determine for yourself which of those strategies seems to be the most dominant for you. Okay, so we'll start again just with a few breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. And now what I want you to do is you're going to pick two spots. So we're going to go into to stage one. Stage one, we're working with a feeling of ease, but also a feeling of disconnection. So we want to first identify the position, 1, 2, or 3, that felt most connected, the most easy, the area that felt like you had the most grace into that area. So for me, it was position 3. And I want you to think about in that position again, the breath, the energy, the movement, really trying to figure out which one is dominant for you today. And that can change from time to time. The position that's most connected can change as well. But today we want to work with the place that feels the most easy and the most connected. And then in contrast to that, we want to pick a place that feels more disconnected, more challenging. So for me, it was position 1 today. So what we're going to do is go back and forth, take a few breaths in each of those areas. So a few breaths here, a few breaths here. So wherever for you felt most connected and most disconnected, we're going to go back and forth just for a little bit, really trying to bring in whatever strategy felt most dominant. So again, the breath, the energy, the movement, really feeling that breath, energy, and movement, all 3 if you can, into that place of connection. And we'll see if we can bring some of that connection into the place where it's more challenging right now. So let's start with a few breaths into the place of connection. And then into the place of challenge. And into the place of ease and connection. And into the place of challenge. And this time, with the hands still in that place of challenge, we're going to say, sometimes I feel disconnected, and then we'll immediately move the hands back to that place of connection. Sometimes I feel disconnected. And then bring the hands back to that place of challenge. And a few more breaths. And this time we'll say, sometimes it feels like nothing works. Sometimes it feels like nothing works. And then bring the hands back to that place of ease and connection. Just a few more breaths there. And one more time, I want you to go back to that place of disconnection or challenge. And just notice if anything's changed there. Again, feeling the breath, the energy, the movement. And then we'll just bring the hands back down or back to that place of connection and ease and peace. And just take a few more breaths right there. Stage 1 is a great stage to do in the evening before bed or in the morning when you wake up. It's a great way to just take a survey of those places that can feel connected and the places that might feel a little more disconnected or challenged. But it's a great opportunity, really, anytime to check in and just to find some peace and some ease, especially if you feel like you're getting wrapped up in life or some hectic things that could be going on. It's just a great way to just center yourself and to get grounded again. So now we'll move into stage 2. And stage 2, again, is about polarities and rhythms. For this one, we're going to use position 1 and position 3. So right over the chest and right over the belly. Again, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And to start with, sometimes one position will go first. Like, for example, position 1 might take a breath, and then position 3 might take a breath, or vice versa. And then at some point, a rhythm will take over, and they may connect and they may breathe at the same time, or they may stay with the rhythm that you start with the breathing in one area or the other. But we just want you to notice those rhythms and polarities as we start to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And you can try it a couple of different ways. Focus first on position 1, and then on position 3. And just notice if any rhythm or pattern starts to become dominant or to take over. Just breathing right at your own pace in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in this stage, we can begin to acknowledge that we have different parts and different rhythms. And we'll say that together. On the next exhale, I have different parts and different rhythms. We might have parts we like. We might have parts we dislike. We might have parts that are strong and parts that are weak. Parts that feel connected or parts that feel disconnected. But the reality is that they're all part of us. We're all one whole being. So we're going to say, I have parts I like, I have parts I dislike, I have parts of challenge, I have parts of ease, I have parts that are connected, I have parts that are disconnected. And then we'll do a belly laugh. Ha ha ha! They're all a part of me. So we'll do that one more time. Just take a couple of more breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, and then we'll say it all together. I have parts I like. I have parts I dislike. I have parts of challenge and parts of ease. I have parts of connection and parts of disconnection. But ha ha ha, they're all part of me. And again, noticing the energy, the breath, and the movement. Just bring your hands back to that position that we discovered that felt most connected. We'll just take a couple more breaths right there. And now we're going to bring the hands into a prayer position. We're going to bring the thumbs right under the chin and the fingers really right at the nose and lips. And we're going to begin to breathe in through the mouth and out through the mouth in this position. And you kind of make the sound of the wind blowing. And moving into stage 10 with this, breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And now we'll bring the hands right up to the forehead or to the third eye position. Still breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth. Now we're going to begin to extend the arms out. If you're laying on the floor, you may find the hands touching the floor. And during this whole exercise, the head is going to stay in contact with the floor. We'll begin to move the hips and the arms, but the head and the back will stay on the floor the whole time. And so still breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth. We'll begin with the exhale to bring the hips up. And then on the inhale, drop the hips back down. And now with the arms, bringing the arms to meet the hips on the exhale. And now, just like we did in stage 2, we'll begin to let our rhythm take over, and that may mean it speeds up, it may stay the same, but just allow your body and the breathing and any energy you feel to take over, driving the breath and the movement. And as we reach that level of connection and oneness, there's nothing to say. So for this stage, we just continue as long as we feel it's necessary. When you feel complete with this stage, or you feel like you cannot do it any longer, you can just rest with the hands at the sides, or again, resting to that position of connection and peace.
And just feeling that connection to yourself, to a higher power, to all. Just feeling the breath, the energy of the movement, even as you lay still, either with the hands at the sides or into that position of connection and ease. And just take your time there. And when you feel ready, you can begin to move into a seated position. Or if you feel necessary, you can continue to lay and just feeling the breath, energy, movement for as long as you need to. So I want to thank you for joining us today, and you will have this for your reference for any other time. Hope you'll revisit this SRI Power Up and revisit the stages of 1, 2, and 10 at another time. Thanks very much. See you next time.